As with most situations in life, there are positive and negative impacts. COVID started in late 2019 in China, and at first, as probably everyone did throughout the UK and possibly the world, we didn't realise the impact that something miles away could have on a personal life here in Scotland. When the pandemic reached the UK shores in 2020, I was still recovering from a very complex operation, so the restrictions and lockdown, working from home aided my recovery, and throughout recovery and lockdown I used to read something called The Economist, which I still do from time to time. However, I stopped reading because the news coming out from other countries was, although truthful, was very, very scary, and it worried me. I honestly asked the question, is this the end of the world? Will I see my friends again? Especially when we were sent home from work and told that we had to work from home. However, I saw this as a challenge because I wanted to kind of see the illness as an enemy and how we could address the illness and beat it. But unfortunately, due to government regulations and government thinking at the time, we were all locked down. Lockdown was really hard for me because I lived alone with my mother, and although I had a great family support network, going to my work and mixing with other people was a big part of my life, and that was taken away from me. I thought it pretty scary at first, particularly one of my images of pandemic was seeing the scenes from Italy, from Bergamo, and I thought, oh no, is this coming here? And then I thought, because of my disability, how much danger is a man personally? Am I going to make it out the other side? It was scary. I was almost in tears. It was hard to talk to people because everyone was going through the same, and you felt, who can I talk to that won't feel as bad as me and make things worse? So I decided to keep it to myself. But what happened when I was working from home was Teams, and Teams played a major part in my life. It still does. Although not physically seeing colleagues, I could still call people up for help. I could still give a wee message to say I'm thinking, and that helped me. Because I work in health and social care, I'm with contract commissioning team who deal with care homes on a daily basis. The workload got increased drastically. It was very fast paced, and from what I started, and even what I do today, the work between March 2020 and possibly right up into November, December 2022, when it started to calm down. Totally different work. We had to help the providers with PPE orders and all sorts of things, and there was so many bulletins, information coming out from public health that I had to distribute to the care homes to keep them up to date with the latest developments. One of the main aspects was in my job is dealing with hospitalisations and deaths. And unfortunately, these increased tenfold, especially with care homes. This was really tough. I did get depression, and sometimes you would almost moved to tears because you were thinking, this is people's family members. People were dying in care homes without being able to see their loved ones saying goodbye. And although I wasn't impacted, I was affected, and I thought, what would it be like to be in that position? So I got depression. But when I was down, I just switched off. I went to read a book. I took 5 minutes away from my desk. I looked at songs. I keep thinking, and so true it was, of the famous sports song, You'll Never Walk Alone. And that's with God, and that you did feel like you're never walking alone. Particularly at one of the lines that sticks out to me, and did when I was writing in preparation for today, was at the end of the storm there's a golden sun. In my life, this turned out to be true, as in last September I got my first house, something I had always dreamed of, and I moved in November. I'm settling in well. I've learned a lot from pandemic, and I think it's been pandemic, although I will never want to go through it again. I've learned a lot. I wash my hands more regularly. I'm aware of giving people more space. However, in the present day, it does frustrate me that we've learned so many valuable lessons throughout this pandemic. Although COVID never go away, we've lost some of the lessons, some of the valuable lessons that we have learned. And we're reverting back to the same practices we had prior to the pandemic. For example, at church, we don't wear masks. Is it not a requirement? Yes, it's true, we have to get back to some normality. But should we be ignoring all the lessons that the pandemic has taught us?